Oh my goodness. So many shadows. This lighting is not what I was like going for. Ooh. Okay. It is currently 5:26. Probably only have maybe like 30-40 more minutes of sunlight, so I'm gonna try to get this done quickly. This is actually something that I've already recorded. I recorded this earlier today. First of all, I seemed to like ramble a lot, which I probably honestly will do that on this one too, because that's me, I'm a rambler. But I'm gonna try my best to just get to the point. So I just wanted to kind of vlog about something that happened to me a week ago from yesterday, and that was my very first car accident. Okay, there was one other time where I did get rear-ended at a light, but it was like minor. The cops weren't called and the insurance wasn't involved, which was actually a mistake, but that's a story for another time. But this was like my first like actual accident where there was like a lot of damage to the vehicle and the police officer was called and there was like an insurance claim and everything. So I've just dealt with like this whole experience for my first time ever. Let me kind of just give you background first on our car. Jake and I have only been living back in Florida since July of 2018, and when we moved back here, we didn't have a car, we didn't have a place to go, so we're currently staying with my grandparents until we can kind of get on our feet. But last September 29th, we finally found a car that we really wanted, and it was a white 2009 Nissan Altima. And it had everything that we asked for. Like when we went to the dealership, the guy was like, what do you want? What do you not want? And first we were like, well, we don't want a red car. We don't want leather seats. We don't want light interior. And some of the things that we do want is we want, it would be nice to have tinted windows. It would be nice to have like push to start. And not gonna lie, our credit is bad. Like when I say bad, I mean you're probably thinking whatever number you're thinking, it's lower than that. Okay, just trust me. So the guy was like, well, we'll see what we can do. Like we might not have any luck with that, but let's go. And before we got there, we had looked up this particular dealership beforehand and we saw this 2009, actually it didn't say the year, but it was a white Nissan Altima, and it was like something that was in our price range. And when we got there, we told him that's what we wanted, and the guy was like, oh, we don't have that anymore. We did end up getting a car that was exactly the same, but it wasn't the same car that we saw that was listed. It was a little bit more expensive. But anyways, so we buy this car in September. We put $2,000 down as a down payment, and then our monthly payments were supposed to be like $459 a month. And we were like, look, we need to pay this off as fast as we can. Let's pay off a lot for these next couple of months before we start saving up to get an apartment, just so that we can have like a good head start on this car payment. So we've paid about $1,000 every single month since then, and it's been about 5 months now, I think. So if you put that all together, that's like $7,000 that we put into this car already. Last Thursday, I actually was planning on applying for an apartment for us. We found one that's in our price range, and we were really looking forward to actually applying and getting our applications in. Jake had just sent me over his pay stubs, which was the last thing that we needed. I just needed to get home and do that. Also, just so you know, I had quit my job about a month ago, and I started working for Uber Eats, which I was very excited about. Something I've always wanted to do, especially these past 2 years. I have just been dying to work my own schedule, and Uber Eats seemed like that was something that was going to work. And I'd only done it a couple times since Jake and I share the car. I couldn't do it like every single day, but it was actually like something that I was very interested in doing, and I felt like I could make a decent amount of money right now, just temporarily, just to see how it goes. So with all of that in mind, I am driving last Thursday. It is about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm on a 3-lane road. I'm headed towards an intersection, but I'm not at the light yet. So I'm on a 3-lane road, and it's very busy traffic. The 2 lanes on the left were backed up all the way, like super far. So I'm coming up on this curve, and I'm in the right lane, and there's nobody in the right lane. So I'm going about 40, 45 miles an hour. coming up. I see the intersection. It's like still kind of far ahead, but I see the light, and I'm like listening to my music, and I'm so, totally like just ready to get home. And as I'm passing a post office on the right, all of a sudden, just boom! I just like hear this really loud noise. The back of the car goes to the right like really fast. I luckily quickly realized that I was about to run into the person that was in the lane next to me, so I had to like turn the wheel really quickly, and there was a bus stop that was right there, so I was able to just pull right into the bus stop. And I stopped the car, and I'm kind of like in shock, but I'm trying to act quickly at the same time, and I'm just like, I've never been in an accident. What do I know about accidents? Like, what should I do? I get out, I look at the damage, and I am just so upset. But the guy, like, he gets out, and I'm so upset. I'm so nervous that he's about to come over and start yelling at me. Like, this is clearly his fault, but I was, like, so scared that he was about to come over and start, like, yelling at me, and that's, like, one thing that I could not handle in that moment. I was so shook up. I literally was, like, I could hardly speak. I was trembling. He comes over, and the first thing he says is, "What's the rush?" And I'm just like, no, I can't do this. So I'm just like, I think for a second, and I'm just like, just trying to get through this traffic. And he nods, and he's like, yeah, me too. I'm like, okay, that wasn't that bad. And for the rest of the interaction, he was completely level-headed. He was very polite. He actually, while we were there, like, took 100% liability. He gave me his insurance information, but didn't take mine. Had the police come. And I was like still so scared. I was just like so nervous because I didn't like know what was going on. And there's so many people that are just like driving by, like watching, and like I'm just like a wreck. I luckily wasn't crying. I did text Jake as soon as I got out of the car just to let him know, like, hey, I was in a car accident. And when he called, I started tearing up, and I was like, okay, I can't talk to you right now. I've got shit to do. I gotta get this stuff together. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I will let you know later, which he was upset about because he's like sitting at work, like what's happening? Like, what's going on? And anyway, I'm getting off topic. So the police officer comes. I go on my Geico app and I start a claim. Apparently I wasn't supposed to do that, or it's like I shouldn't have done that, since I was trying to go through the other guy's insurance, but I didn't know. Like, nothing bad came of it, but I just learned now that I shouldn't have done that. But I filed a claim with Geico, letting them know everything that happened. I talked to them on the phone, talked to the officer, gave him all of our information, waited for the report, and then I called AAA. It's about 6:20 something, and they're like, okay, well, it's going to be about 90 minutes. And I'm like, okay, so 8 o'clock is about when they're going to be here. The police officer says, you know, since you're out of the way, you're in the bus stop, you're not in the way of traffic, I don't really need to stay here. Like, are you okay? I said yes, and then the other guy was like, I'll stay with her until the tow truck comes. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So we're waiting, and let me just tell you, I had to pee so bad. Like, seriously, I had to pee so bad. I was in so much pain that I couldn't even think about the accident. I couldn't think about anything but the fact that I had to use the bathroom, and it was already dark outside. I wasn't just gonna leave my car, so I had to wait. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm just like, okay, AAA, come on. And the police officer, when he was leaving, I told him I was waiting on AAA, and he was like, oh, good luck, like, they're really slow. It's like, okay, well, you know what, I've had good luck with them in the past, you know, this will be fine. 8 o'clock comes around. It's actually about 7:45. I call AAA just to check up on, you know, what's the estimated time of arrival, and they say, oh, it says it should be less than 25 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes goes by, it's about 8 o'clock. I go to call again, but as I'm on the phone about, like, trying to call AAA, I receive a phone call, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's the tow truck drivers. So I answer the phone. The guy on the other line is like, hey, is this Chloe? Like, is that who I'm talking about? And I'm like, yes. And he was like, hey, I'm sorry to hear that you're having such a rough night. Not trying to make your night any worse, but it's going to be about another hour before someone comes out. Sean, the tow truck driver, he's going to head out soon, but I just wanted to let you know that that's the new estimated time. I'm just thinking, I have to pee so bad. Just so you know, this does not end with me peeing myself, so don't get too excited if you think that that's where the story is going. I got really close, but no, that didn't happen. So I tell the guy, I say, hey, they're gonna be another hour, you know, you don't have to stay. I didn't really want him to stay anyways, but he was being nice. Like, I couldn't most people wouldn't do that these days. So I was just accepting the kind gesture. And what am I gonna do? Be like, no, dude, get away. I don't want to be around you. Like, he was so nice about the whole situation. Like, I was just grateful that it didn't go any different. But he's like, hey, I gotta get back to work, but you have my number. I'm right around the corner if you need anything, real polite. He leaves. So I'm like, okay, well, my phone's at like 19%, I still have almost an hour before AAA is gonna get here. So I get in the passenger side of my car. I'm still pulled over into the bus stop, and I get in the passenger side. I've got one foot in the car, one foot out. I plug in my phone. I'm about to start like watching like YouTube or listen to like an Ear Biscuit podcast episode but from Rhett and Link. And I hear from the right of me, I hear a lady voice say like, hey, are you okay? And I look over and this lady just appeared from nowhere. Like, literally before that man left, I had been standing facing her direction, and I was there for almost 2 hours just looking at nothing. So then this guy leaves. As soon as he leaves, I sit down in my car, and then this lady just appears. So I'm already kind of freaked out. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting on the tow truck. Yeah, I was in an accident. She's like, oh, okay, I just want to let you know that I'm here and I'm not a creep. There are a lot of weirdos out here, homeless people riding around on bikes. Oh, well, I'm on a bike, ha ha ha, but I'm Robin, and I just want to let you know I'm around, make sure you're all right. I said, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just gonna sit in my car and lock the doors. She said, okay, well, I'm just worried because these people, they're not paying attention. And it kind of, to me, felt like, I don't know, like I knew she was trying to be nice, but at the same time, I listened to a lot of scary stories. Like, I love listening to like the Creepy Fox and Blue Spooky before I go to bed. And I've heard so many stories of like people trying to be nice, or people coming up on you and they're like, oh, you shouldn't be out here this late, or you shouldn't be doing this. You could get hurt. Someone could come out here. And the person who's like warning them is the actual person who's like trying to hurt them. So that's immediately what I go to. And I was like, oh, I think I'll be okay. And she's like, okay, well, I'm over here if you need me, and people don't mess with me because they know I carry. Like, lady, I feel like you really are trying to be nice right now, but, like, you're coming off way too strong, and you're freaking me out. But I'm just like, okay. And she, like, walks away, and I close the door, and I lock the door. I'm just like, what the hell? I call my dad immediately. Because at this point, I had not called anybody. I didn't think that AAA was going to take that long. I was just going to wait, get home, let people see the damage, and then tell them what happened so that they didn't worry. But I had to pee so bad, so I'm like, Dad, can you come meet me down here? Can you wait with me until AAA gets here? They said it's going to be a while, so he comes down, and we're talking. And I feel kind of bad because my dad was talking to me like the whole time, but I had to pee so bad that I don't know what he was talking about. I have no idea. If you ask me like, oh yeah, what were you guys having a conversation about? I have no idea. All I was thinking about is, oh my God, I have to pee. And so finally, like I had gotten a text saying, oh, AAA should be there no later than 9:01 p.m. 9:03 p.m. the tow truck driver pulls up. Whatever. I don't care. I'm happy that he's there. He gets there, he is like setting up the car and everything, and it takes him like 45 flippin' minutes, and I'm just like doing a dance, like, okay, can we go now, please, please, please. And he's finally all done setting it up, and we go and we look over at the damage, and part of the like left side rear quarter panel is like sticking out, jutting out, hitting the tire, and it was like cutting through the tire. So then the guy had to like spend an extra like 10 minutes trying to like pull it out, and he had these big pliers that he was trying to like bend the car so that it wouldn't fuck up the back tire as he's towing it, because they didn't bring the full tow. They just had the one where they like pull up the front of the car. Finally, he's done, and we're like, okay, like, we got to go. Like, I tell my dad, like, I have to go to the bathroom. He pulls up to Burger King right next, like, right near where we were. I run in, use the bathroom. Didn't think I'd ever stop. Probably the longest pee of my life. Finally, we get home. We, like, look at the damage. That day is done. 2 days later, I call the number, like I call Geico. We both have Geico, so that actually was kind of like a good thing and kind of like worked out in my favor. Otherwise, if he had like Progressive, I'd have had to call Progressive and then wait for them to figure out what they were gonna do. But with Geico, they just wanted to get it done with, so they were like really fast about it. So I call Saturday, they say, all right, he accepted 100% liability. So his insurance is going to cover all the damages. We're going to set you up with a rental car. Let's just get you an appointment to go to the shop this week. So we set up an appointment for Tuesday. Now the way that the door was damaged, it was like the back passenger door behind the driver. It was hit at an angle to where the top and the bottom like kind of bent outwards. So as it was sitting in the driveway, leaves and stuff were just falling right into the car. And it was going to be raining on Tuesday. So we covered it with a tarp. I had to reschedule the appointment for Wednesday. I didn't want to drive with it all wet. So I rescheduled the appointment for Wednesday. I go on Wednesday, give them the keys. They give me the rental. I'm actually in the rental right now. I have to return it tonight. But I give them the keys, and the guy goes out with me and just really quickly looks at the damage and kind of talks to me about what's going to happen next. And as we're out there, I asked him before I left, I was like, okay, be honest with me. Do you think it's totaled? And he said, the thought crossed my mind. Like, when I came out here and I first looked at the damages, like, the thought has crossed my mind, considering it is a Nissan Altima, a very popular model of car that is 10 years old, so they are just selling like crazy. There have been so many sold since this model of Altima has come out. And he was like, it could very well be totaled, but we're going to do our best. We're going to try to find the cheapest, but durable pieces, for your car that we need to find, and we'll call you by the end of the day today and we let you know. So it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. I leave the place. I am so upset. I had been depressed this whole time. I haven't been able to sleep well this whole week also, but I'm just like really nervous, and I'm just telling myself it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Things happen for a reason. Like, at least I try to tell myself that. The universe tries to work things out, and you may not understand why something's happened, but at some point it will come full circle. I just have to be patient, right? But I'm like telling myself it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be totaled. So I'm going with my day. I'm still upset. I finally talk myself into like being more positive about the day. I get some lunch. I go to Firehouse Subs. I never get to eat Firehouse because Jake doesn't like it, but I love Firehouse Subs. So I was like, gonna treat myself today. And I come to actually where I'm sitting right now. It's a parking lot near like a baseball field that I like to sit and like watch YouTube and stuff. But so I came back here. I eat my lunch. I'm watching YouTube. And I get a phone call, and I'm too nervous. I'm too nervous to answer it. I have really bad social anxiety, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna wait, let them leave a message, or maybe I'll get an email or something. So I let it go through. I keep watching my video, and near the end of the video, I was gonna finish it, but then I got an email from Geico, and I was too curious about what it said, so I clicked on it, and the subject was, review your settlement, or something like that. Or like finalizing your settlement. And I'm just like, oh, that doesn't sound good. That just doesn't sound good as it is. And I click on it. The first thing it says is that we have come to the conclusion that this is a total loss and we'll have to like pay you a settlement or whatever. And I am just devastated. I don't finish watching the video. I leave immediately. I just start going home because I know I'm about to start crying and I just want to get home. And on my way there, I do start tearing up, and then Jake calls. And of course, like every time I hear his voice, it's just like the dam opens and my eyes just start watering like crazy. Like I can't control it. So I had to get off the phone because I was driving. That was really scary. I had just been in an accident like a week before, not even. So, but yeah, so then it's just like, I found out 2 days ago, and I have cried a lot, I will say that, because we put so much money into that car and we loved it. It was literally what we asked for. It was not red, it was white, like the one that we had come there for. It had cloth interior, it was black on the inside, it was push to start, it was nice dark tinted windows, and the person who had owned it before, they had put in like their own speakers in the back, so it was like, it sounded so nice and it drove so well. And yeah, and now it's gone. It's not ours anymore, and I'm really, really like devastated. It's the first car we've ever bought. We've owned like 3 cars before this, but they were all given to us. We were lucky. We were, really blessed to have cars just like given to us, and like being able to just have a car and not have to worry about any kind of car payments. So this was our first time ever buying a car, so it was just like, it felt so much more I don't know, devastating to like lose this, especially with all the money that went into it. So I see that the settlement is for $3,800, which just blows my mind. That's like the cash value of it. And I'm like, how did we get roped into spending so much more money on this car with the dealership? But I guess that's what they do. Um, but yeah, so it's like $3,800, and we also have gap insurance. So whatever we owe left because we're financing it, whatever we owe is going to be covered by gap insurance. I thought that that $3,800 was going to be like a check given to us so that we would still have money to be able to at least put a down payment on for a car, and that gap insurance would pay everything. But no. Gap insurance only pays the difference of the cash value of the car and like the rest of what you owe. So all of that money that Geico is like giving us is literally going straight to the bank, and then luckily gap insurance is going to cover the rest, but we're left with nothing. We have no car. We have only a little bit of money we've been saving up to move out, but now we're definitely not going to be moving out soon. So that's another thing, is like, I'm happy that we're at our grandparents and that, you know, my grandparents are nice enough to like, they don't charge us rent or anything. Like, they just are being so great about all of this. Like, really appreciate them. But that's the situation that we're in. I'm devastated. You know, I really enjoyed having that car. It's only been 5 months. We only had it for 5 months. It's very sad to me that we have to lose this. We actually named her Betty White. So, R.I.P. Betty White, but not the real Betty White. I hope I didn't just jinx that. Oh, I don't have any wood to knock on. Anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest. For one, I don't have any friends to talk to, so hey, new friends, if you're watching this. But also, you know, I just kind of wanted to share my experience. Maybe if you're watching this, maybe you've had an experience that was similar. Maybe yours went way worse. I can say I'm very lucky that I did not get hurt. And I might like put some photos in here of the car if I have any like good ones of the damage, but you'd see that if I had been half a second later, I would have gotten hurt. Like, he would have hit my driver's side door and I would have been hurt. I don't think that I told you guys even how this happened. I told you guys that the 2 left lanes are backed up all the way. I'm in the right lane. There's nobody in front of me. I'm coming around the curve. I see the light, but I'm not even there yet. And all of a sudden I'm passing a post office on my right, and I'm going 40 to 45 miles an hour, and all of a sudden this guy who is coming in the opposite direction, he's trying to take a left through those 2 lanes of traffic that are backed up, trying to get to the post office. He didn't see me. I didn't see him, and I think what happened, he was just like, okay, I think I'm clear, let me go as fast as I can just to get across. So he probably like slammed on the gas right as I was passing by, and it just, bam! Like, it was so flipping terrifying. Like, I have had some nightmares lately. I'm not one to usually get nightmares when things happen. Like, if I watch scary movies or if I listen to scary stories before I go to bed, because I literally do that every night. Like, I don't have nightmares, but I have had a few nightmares from this accident. I have been, like, really stressed about it. But now I'm stressed because we don't have any money, and whatever. I've been trying to be positive. I've been trying so hard to be positive every day, and I have been quite successful. There have definitely times where I've been breaking, but I'm pretty proud of myself because I've been handling it a lot better than I would expect. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. If you've had an accident or something similar, if you want to share anything, comment below. If you've enjoyed listening to my story and you've made it this far, do me a favor. Can you give it a like, please? I don't really know how this YouTube thing works. That's just what I hear everybody say. So yeah, hit that like button. Comment down below. Tell me about your first car accident, or somebody that maybe someone you know has been in a car accident and you want to tell me about that. But thank you guys for watching and letting me kind of get this off my chest. I hope you guys have a great week and have better luck with car buying in your future.